Now if you notice these two white lines we have here, they're 24 feet apart because that's your average side street. Now I'm going to be the average untrained rider. I'm going to show you why you might be having a problem making this simple maneuver. I'm cruising down the road. I'm just cruising along on a dinner run. Got my wife on the back of the bike, cruising along. Might even look over, catch a glimpse of my reflection in the storefront window. You've all done that. Yeah, you like that? Ooh, that's me. I look like a biker. I have a do-rag and a black vest. I must be a biker. I look really cool. Then his wife, she's on the back. She's a little more critical. She looks over and she says, "Did these chaps make my ass look big?" And he says, "No, honey, no." She's because, you know, I could have got an extra size. No, they look fine. Your ass looks great. And then cruise along. She goes, "You know, I think you missed the turn back there when you were busy looking at yourself in the mirror." She says, "You should stop and ask for directions." I'm not going to stop and ask. She says, "Yeah, because you missed that turn back. You need to make a U-turn and go back. We're going to be late for dinner." He says, "Now I know where I'm going." She says, "No, you're just afraid to make that U-turn." She said, "Because I was watching when that Motorman guy was whipping those U-turns. You were too busy looking at his skinny blonde wife. I saw you doing it. You should have paid attention. Let me see you turn this bike around." So now he tries the U-turn. He's afraid of the curbs and he decided to want to hit him. So he starts his U-turn about 4 feet away from there. He goes to turn the bike and he starts staring at the next place. He doesn't want to go. The bike goes wherever you look. He starts looking over there. And he's getting closer and closer. And he realizes there's no way to make this turn. Now he's got to back up an 800-pound bike. And he says, he's backing it up. He goes, "Honey, can you get off the bike?" He says, "You're telling me that because you think I'm fat. You think these chaps make my ass look too big." "No, honey, I'm telling you, it looks fine. Just that Motorman guy, he didn't ask his wife to get off the bike when he put her on there. How come you're asking me?" She says, "Look, honey, this ain't easy. Would you mind getting off the bike?" She says, "No, I'm not getting off the motorcycle." He says, "Okay, you got a big ass. Now get the hell off my bike." She's never getting on there again. There's going to be a big fight. Here's the way to avoid that. Very simple. Make this simple U-turn. I'm going to focus about 4 feet above the ground. I'm going to get my front tire close to this curve as possible. As soon as my front tire gets here, I will snap my head and eyes as far back that way as possible. The further I turn my head and eyes, the tighter the turn I can make. I'll be in the friction zone. I'll have a little bit of pressure on the rear brake, and I will turn my head and eyes. It is just that simple. If you practice this, do it in the parking lot. Don't do it on the side street. The first couple of times you will have the tendency to look at the curb. If you practice in a parking lot, there's a pretty blonde standing in the middle of it. The hell with the practice, stop and get to know her, because it's not going to happen too often. All right. I find that pivot point. I snap my head and eyes around, and around comes the bike in one smooth motion. Got 4, 5, 6 feet to spare. Give it a plug, because that's what it's supposed to look like, folks. The bike turns in 18 feet, 24 feet is a ton of room. I can do those full lock turns inside this 24 feet. You still have plenty of room to spare, but I know there's still skeptics out there, because I know bikers and skeptics. I know what you're thinking. This guy right here, you know what he's thinking? He's thinking, "I'd love to see that guy fall on his ass just once."